Well, it is still summer, but Ava has, what do you have today? Class of some show choir. It sounds like, what is show choir? What is it? Musicals. Okay, well, that sounds fun. Dropping Ava off at school really quick. I guess slowly getting back into the rhythm of things. You know, we go to Prince Edward Island next week, and the day we return, the next day they go back to school. So it's, are you excited? It's soon back to school for the kids. No, you're not excited. It's soon back to school for the kids, and obviously this last week, I guess, has been very taxing. A little stressful, obviously. I was a little frustrated with myself, I guess, over the Jailbird Jog race. You know, I went back, and I have the race on glasses, and I went back and watched it, and at no point right before the half did I feel that anything was amiss, right? That anything was going wrong. And I know that Lexington is a fast track, and I know that the races were going fast the other night, but obviously it's not lost on me that the middle half is likely what cost us the race with Jailbird Jog. And I know we get some great clients, you know, everything, all the excuses come out. Oh, Anthony, you know. Oh, yeah. The horse, you know, she raced well. You know, it could have been this. It could have been, you talked with the differential. It could have been a million things. Oh, maybe it might have been the pull from the moon that caused her to go. It was me, right? And I know that. It's a tough thing to muscle through when you know that when you look at the race. And I knew it, obviously, halfway down the lane. Even getting into the last turn, it felt like she was in a spot where everybody, you know, Ronnie had carried the water clearing to the front at the half. He had worked very hard. The horses in behind her I didn't feel could beat her. I thought she was going to, honestly, throw down a world record when we got to the head of the lane. And instead, the reality, the reality of the situation come crashing down halfway down the lane. And, you know, I'm like anybody else, right? I got to call a spade a spade. And, it was... Who's in school right now? Why?
They start like a week and a half before us.
Are you serious?
They also end a week and a half before us.
That's weird. So, it's just one of those things, you know, as a driver, there's nothing you can do. When you make a mistake, where do you want to go?
The rotunda.
Okay. There's nothing you can do but just hang your head, you know, drag your lip a little bit, you know, maybe curse a little bit under your breath and endeavor to do better. And last night I certainly did. I think Lou Armstrong, you know, I joked about it in the glasses with him last night that just throw it in the garbage, please.
Yeah.
No, take it with you.
Hey.
Don't forget your bottle thingy and your garbage thingy. Thank you. And, I joked about it with Lou Armstrong that the half was not overly taxing last night for him. He raced very, very well, finished up his mile very well, and although it doesn't make up for the other night, it certainly starts to help heal, I guess. Maybe not for all my partners with Jailbird, but, with me. So, as I said, in particular with her, no worse for wear. I come in the next day, she's bouncing around the stall and playful, feeling good and looking good. So that was very important also. Many of you may know this by now, but as I just said, I'm gone away for a week. So is James. Oh, a kid's always leaving these drinks all over the place. So is James. It's my father's 80th birthday on Tuesday of Old Home Week, which happens to be the exact very day that Jailbird Jog and Degas race. So Ian and Gingras will get their drive back on Degas with their hobbles where they're supposed to be. I didn't want to come off as angry the other night. You know, with Degas, you don't know until they say go. She's done that at every track. You just have to watch her the first couple of strides off the cart, and then she's perfect. Well, when you train her, it doesn't matter how fast you go, you still don't get that snap off the car, right? That snap is where she can get herself in trouble. And when I trained her, you know, Yannick had said her hobbles felt a little tight, so we let them out. I trained her, she felt fine. Now I know all this as we go into the race. And I even had a pretty good hold of her coming off the car. I did want to hold the 6 at bay and push forward, but I didn't need to do it right now. She put that normal step in she always did. The next one, that was the killer. That's the one where she just needed those hobbles a little tighter. Now, they were in, I'll tell you right now, they were in the third hole in the bike. Fourth hole in the hobbles. We usually wear them 6. Atlee Bender has driven her. So did Joey, I think, with them at 3.4, 3.5. We had them at 3.4 the other night, and that's when I lost her leaving the car. It's very simple. She could probably rate. You may say to yourself, Anthony, your hole is this much, so that much more hobble for a horse to stretch out, throw themselves off balance, and make a break, which is exactly what she did. Now, that's on me. That's not on anybody else. I knew where the hobbles were. I knew the entire situation. I knew what was going on. I had trained her 4 or 5 days before. So there's nobody to blame but myself. I will say this. She was a little short because we haven't been able to race her for 3.5 weeks. So I felt when we went under the wire, feeling her out. And we did get her blood back. Her AST was a little bit high also. But I felt that she was probably going to be third. I cost us a position by making that break. It's very simple. We can pull the hobbles into 3.5 or 3.6, but they won't stay at 3.4. And I'm sure Degas will be tighter, sharper, and ready to rock Tuesday for Yannick Gingras. Jailbird Jog, I talked to Scotty last night. He said, well, can I be back Tuesday? Maybe, yes. He said, but I would have to tell you today or tomorrow for you to list me on that horse, and I can't do that in all good faith. Okay. So, whatever, I mean. So it looks like, Ronnie has, I'm looking at the drivers. Both James, Mark, and myself are going to be in Prince Edward Island. Scott doesn't believe he's going to be ready. And all the other major drivers, for the most part, that I can think of off the top of my head, have serious drives in there. Because here's the problem. You're really driving for a week, right? You know, James will be back. He can drive Jailbird Jog. He'll be back the week after. And I mean, I'm always there. So as much as I felt stupid about last night, I have done pretty well, I believe, in Jailbird Jog in the past. So you're looking at a one-drive situation. So are you willing to step away from your drive that particular week to drive Jailbird Jog in one race? The answer could be yes, easily. But that will be up to the driver. And I was thinking maybe Yannick, I didn't know for certain what he had in that division. Hey, listen, any one of those guys are all superstar drivers. I mean, any one of them can fill in. Jailbird Jog's pretty easy filly to race. And I don't think there'll be any problem in that regard. So someone will drive her on Tuesday, and Yannick will be listed back on Degas also. So, I think that's that. I cleared the air and got that off my chest with regards to Degas. Very happy last night with Lou Armstrong. We'll talk about him in a minute. And I think as we move forward, we have Sunday, Belladale will be racing. We have, all the horses in Kentucky will be racing. Now, a few little updates. Prada Renata's liver has jumped again. As you can see, it's just been a complete waste of a year over this, and very, very frustrating to me. We're just going to turn her out, knowing very well that there's nothing really wrong with her. So I don't know that she needs that big rest, and this is important. I want to tie this into this video. I was going to do it at the end. I'm going to do a little bit of it right now. Now, I was emailed by a number of clients. I made it very clear that I thought there was a very good reason to turn a lot of our 2-year-olds out, that we could keep racing, that we could sell, thinking that this was the proper plan moving forward. And as it always does, for the most part, any time I make statements, especially very broad and general statements, it opens up quite a dialogue. And that's the reason I made the statements. I want to get that feedback. I want to get that dialogue from everybody. And the feedback I got from a lot of people was, Anthony, it seems like you have a scale in your head, and I'm generalizing a number of emails here, but it seems like you have a scale in your head. Horses that are likely to come back very good, horses that are likely to come back pretty good, horses that may possibly come back good, and then at the bottom you have the hopes and prayers and dreams category. Now you can make an argument, I can make an argument for a History Hanover, but it was my feeling after reading the dialogue from everybody that most people, sales are coming, they are what they are, unless you can give me a real good reason that we should be keeping them. Maybe we should be using some of that revenue to generate sale capital. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm a little surprised that I got as many emails as I did regarding to this in this manner, and I'm sure we're going to have quite the rebuttal over the next 24 hours from a number of clients. But in this regard, I'm going to stay as neutral as I can. Whether it be, I mentioned the other day, one of our clients messaged me and said, did you just say you're buying less Ohio breds? We're having a great year in Ohio, and you're going to buy less of them. No, I didn't say I was buying less of them. I'm going to buy the Ohio breds on demand. The reason being, the last few years we bought 10 to 15 Ohio breds, and the stable itself, myself, my partners ended up carrying a lot of those shares into the latter part of the season. Somebody messaged me and said, well, that's because you just bought a lot of trotters and not as many pacers. Maybe people wanted pacers and not as many trotters. Maybe it's just what you bought. And then I obviously had long conversations with Russ talking about you need to buy more in ranges, more top sire-based horses. Somebody else said, well, Anthony, I'm looking at the sale catalog right now. There seems to be a lot of horses, a couple of really nice creatines. And I already know what Russ's rebuttal of that is, and I get that. The great thing about this industry is I know that everybody feels they know or they're correct. But the horses will tell us who's correct and not, and we'll have to wait a year to find that out almost. But the one thing I am certain of, it's not horses. The one thing I am certain of is that our purchasing will be based on what people want. So I think as a whole, as a group, as management, we have to get a firmer understanding and idea of what people are actually looking for and interested in. So there. I think I've covered most of it. I am going to reassess the entire 2-year-old list. And there are going to be some horses that are leaving. Maybe a couple more than I thought the other day would be leaving. And I'm not necessarily disappointed with that. I don't mind a surgical approach. And it gives me another point of view to look at. So I will reassess the 2-year-olds that are maybe done for the season and decide, talk with a lot of our clients, but decide who stays and who goes. I think that's the fairest way to move forward. Now, with all of that out of the way, remember, I'm catching up for almost 3 days here. I want to talk about a few horses that really looked very good. Maybe a couple that looked a little flat also. I thought that Leland Hanover and My Name's Swaney looked like maybe the summer was waning on them a little bit. It's not meant to be a play on words. It was just kind of, they looked a little flat. I want to draw blood on those horses, see where we're at with them. I believe you're not going to see a whole lot. So that begs the question, do we turn those horses over and replace them later on? Do we give them a rest and allow them to race forward? These are great questions. I don't know that I have an answer for either at the moment. So it's something I have to ponder over the next 24 hours, 48 hours also. I think that Leland needs to go to a bigger track. He needs to go to Scioto or the Meadows his next few starts. We need a little shake up with him. And possibly Wayne also. I'm going to be completely honest. She's not a big filly. She doesn't need, not for the same reasons as Leland, but a little salty, these classes right now at Northfield Park. So he said, well, you just got to go faster now. But you're right. Right now, you got to go faster. The one thing I'm certain of, history always repeats itself. You'll see these races kind of burn themselves out, and then probably in 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to see a much softer group of horses move in there as the stake horses start licking their chops at the end of the season, hanging their heads, they're a little tired themselves. Those 52, 53 miles are going to be replaced with some softer racing. And that's the way it always is in those classes, right? The non-winners are 2, but 4, but 7, the ones I always talk about. They always get a little salty in August, and they always get a little soft towards the end of September as winter approaches. And that's likely what we're going to see this year also. So food for thought with regards to those 2 horses in particular. Yes, racing is tough right now. No, it won't remain that way for too much longer. Now, Solidarity, I talked about him. I thought he raced incredible. I had somebody message me right after the race and say, well, I hope you're not going to keep him in that claimer. Absolutely am going to keep him in that claimer. His tag is $71,000 in that class. That is the perfect horse for the perfect class right now. In the entirety of that, in the entirety of Solidarity right now, the only minor regret would be that he's not racing at Miami Valley for a lot more money. He's racing here and now. That doesn't mean that we're going to arrest him for Miami Valley, although Stacy had put that forward a couple of weeks ago. She goes, he's really good. Do you think it would make sense to stop with him until Dayton and Miami Valley? I guess they're only a month away. I think probably what we're going to do is give Solidarity a week off, race him back in that class. He's got the last, remember, he also has the last Stallion Series event, and he is in the running on August the 29th at the Meadows. So Stacy and Brett can go drive him there. And then we'll see if he makes the Stallion Series final. I don't know. And that is a salty, salty crew also, just by the way. I'll call him back. So Solidarity raced huge. My name's Swaney. A little flat. Another huge victory by Woodmere Rocket, smashing the Summerside Raceway track record in the Maritimes. For those of you in the States or maybe in Ontario, you might say, oh, wow, the East Coast. I don't think you truly understand the magnitude of how quick and fast and durable this horse appears to be. 54-2, Summerside Raceway has been there a long time. And for him to go that kind of mile over Summerside is pretty impressive. It's a pretty impressive colt. So again, just a great job by Jamie Smith. Little segue to Jamie. His time is on my side down on the East Coast right now, prepping him for Saturday's Gold Cup and Saucer Trial number 1. I believe they draw today, if I'm not mistaken. I will be down there. On Saturday, we leave Ontario. I think our flight's at 8 o'clock in the morning. We get in at 11 o'clock in the morning in Prince Edward Island. So it should be a great time for my kids. When I think about it, Addie hasn't been in Prince Edward Island since she was in a stroller. Ollie hasn't been there in 6-7 years. Now Ava has been going down for a week or 2 weeks over the last 2-3 years. So everybody in PEI knows Ava, but nobody really knows Addie and Ollie just yet. I had forgot about them maybe. And I myself, you might say, well, Anthony, you won the Gold Cup with Sintra. Just to put it in perspective, I was on Prince Edward Island. I was in the province for a total of maybe 8 or 9 hours the year I won with Sintra. Because that's how busy we were at the time. Ollie had a baseball tournament. Amy and I were literally awake for 48 hours for that entire time. And it was a really cool and an extremely memorable point in time in my life, but I never got to spend any time with the people I grew up around. And it will be very, very satisfying to make my way down to Prince Edward Island for 8 days. Something I haven't done in a very, very long time. For 8 days starting this coming Saturday. But before that, we have Berea today. Kentucky tomorrow. Thursday, I'm at the Meadows. Friday, I'm in Philadelphia. And then I literally fly from Cleveland to Philadelphia, race for the afternoon, and fly to Ontario, where I'm going to meet up with my family in Ontario for the night. Saturday morning, we fly to Prince Edward Island. So let's continue on here with the horses. Woodmere Rocket, an amazing machine, much like, well, even more so because he's undefeated still, but much like the colt here, Atomics Hanover, just seems like they got a lot of pop and amongst the top. Now, Atomics Hanover is, I think if we're going to be fair, looks like he's third best, a very close third best right now to those other two colts. But that can change also, good and bad. Whereas Woodmere Rocket is head and shoulders above, from what I've been told anyway. I don't follow the division close enough, but from what I've been told, head and shoulders above the Sire Stakes division in the East Coast in Canada. Dublin's Franny, a lot of people asked what happened. I haven't really got a clear answer. All I know and all I was happy about was Jason said she was sound yesterday, sound after the race, sound this morning also. I never really got a reason why she made a break on air, and I watched the race the same as you. My first thought was she was sore, something was bothering her. It looked fine in the post parade, but it may not be as technical as we thought. It may just be that she got to the turn, Aaron didn't know her, and when I would usually push her into that turn, he kind of let her box herself up, and she just lost herself and rolled off stride. Could be just that easy. I was happy to hear that she was sound, so onward and upward with her. As I said, Lou Armstrong was amazing last night. That's a huge last quarter, and I really was just letting him stretch his legs in the last turn. I couldn't hear anything. I didn't know the speed we were going, which posed a problem this week already. But I knew that I had a pretty firm grip on him through the middle half, and then just turned him on in the last turn, and he was gone. The horse looked amazing. Very, very, very pleased with Lou Armstrong. Everything is shaping up according to plan so far with him. Popular Expert and What a Houdini raced good. Take nothing away from them. They both raced very good. That is a fair track. And they both, one horse followed speed when that good horse from the earlier races broke the track record of 57. Popular Expert, I didn't see the line, but probably close to breaking the old track record also. So a good mile from him, a good mile from What a Houdini. As I said, we have the fair today. Barcelona Mickey, Rose Run Chief, Vinestaff, and St. Sarah will be going to the fair. I believe we also have our girl tomorrow. Yes, not today, tomorrow. The only racing is that fair on the calendar that I can look at today. So we have 4 in today. Tomorrow we have Frolic Superway. I'll be down in Kentucky for Superway and Boitano. And then Zena Kemp races later tomorrow evening. And that will get us through Wednesday. Anyway, I'm at the barn now. I got 4 horses to train this morning. I don't know if you're anywhere near northeastern Ohio or what it was like in your area, but those were some of the most violent lightning storms and thunderstorms that I've seen in quite a while. Last night roll through where we were at all night long. What's better than sleeping in a thunderstorm? Oh, slept very good last night, and fresh and relaxed and ready to go for today. Now the fair starts at 4 o'clock. If you want to follow along, Ohio Harness Horse Association on Facebook, maybe even YouTube also. You can get on there. They'll have the live feed from Berea. It's out by the airport, I believe. From Berea, and we will, or Berea, I'm not sure how you say it, Berea maybe. We'll get our fair racing underway at 4 o'clock, but it's been a very busy whirlwind-like run the last week. I'm glad I got this video done for you guys today because we still have lots going on. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Hope you guys are having a good week. We're definitely having a good summer, looking to keep it going today in Berea. Take care.